What's up, you beauties? Welcome to the High and Wide Hockey post-game show. Flyers fall in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers 4-3. Matvei Michkov scored twice in the loss. Let's break the game down, but before we get going here, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps get us in front of more eyes and ears. Okay, so let's get going here a little bit. I know it's late. I want to get you guys to bed, all right? It's probably a little easier to get to sleep after that one. Looked like it was going to be a hell of a game for the Flyers. Started out up 2-0, 2 power play goals from Matvei Michkov. Here's some of the things I noticed in the first period. Obviously, I want to hear from you guys throughout the show. We'll keep this short. We'll try to keep it 10, 15 minutes. First period, things I noticed right off the bat. Scott Laughton, I noticed a lot, had some energy. I thought they were going to get a shorthanded goal, he and Travis Konecny later on in the period there. But Matvei Michkov, guys, right? The first goal, I know they reviewed it to see if there was goaltender interference, but look, that's his office. And we're going to see Michkov score a lot of goals right from that spot. Maybe not the same exact way where he's jamming and poking, but he's a dog. So maybe we will. But in that area, right from that spot where he was, you're going to see him score a lot of those goals. Maybe more from that spot than we're going to see highlight reel, pretty snipe job goals. He's a dog. Michkov's a dog. And if you guys didn't see already, we have new shirts. I'll post a link in here somewhere, Mitch Dog. But yeah, he's going to score a lot of goals. And if you're a goal scorer, you need to be able to score, that kind of goal. And then what we saw later on in the period, again on the power play, I think it was a one-time shot or a bang-bang play assisted by Morgan Frost. Michkov, his first 2-goal game, 3 games into his Flyers career. And, hey, Torts, maybe let's keep Michkov on the right side, huh? Didn't really he scores his first goals as a Flyer playing on the right side, his natural side. Didn't look the same playing on the left. And I think the reasoning for that before the game, Torts said he wanted to pair him up with Konecny, and I would love to see those two play together. But if Michkov's going to feel more comfortable playing on the right side, play him on the right side. Now the Flyers got one of their power play goals because I think Edmonton challenged the first one, which was interesting. And I want to know what you guys thought. Should that have been goaltender interference on the first Michkov goal there? I didn't think it was. I thought it was a goal, right away. But I'm also a little bit biased too. So yeah. And then what I thought was funny there was Edmonton had a goal called back, and if the roles were reversed, we would have been flipping out, right? But I thought that was funny. I thought Sam Ersson looked pretty strong again, especially in the first period, 8 for 8 saves. Flyers were 2 for 4 on the power play in the first period alone. Edmonton looked rough in that first period, and I think it was pretty, you could have expected them to come out a different team in the second period, and that's exactly what happened. Edmonton really took it to the Flyers, I thought, for the majority of the third period. Adam Henrique scored. Ersson gave up it was a bad rebound. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? I really like Ersson. I'm an Ersson guy, but something goalies work on is their rebound control. And, I think everyone who watches the show, watches hockey, knows what I mean by that. But just in case, so rebound control is, a puck comes in, you want to deflect it into a safe space. You want to deflect it off to the sides, not directly in front of your goal. And in this case, a shot came in. Ersson saved it, but he gave up the rebound almost directly in front of him. And Adam Henrique was able to put that away, cuts the Flyers lead in half. It's now 2-1. I have later on in the period here, at the 10:52 mark, Stuart Skinner robbed Sanheim. I didn't think Sanheim had a bad game. I thought he looked all right. That overtime goal, man, we'll get to that later on in the show, but interesting what played out there in overtime. Connor Brown ties the game 2-2. You know who I thought looked pretty good tonight and is off to a surprising start for me because I wasn't a fan of the way he finished last season was Bobby Brink. We were talking in our group chat earlier, and not only so you remember one of the knocks on Brink was his skating, right? He wasn't the best skater. He looks quicker this year, and he looks bigger. He looks more physical this year is what I'm noticing. He's getting to pucks. He's fighting in tough areas for pucks, playing faster, more pace. I'm intrigued with Bobby Brink, and he was rewarded tonight with his first goal of the season. So good for him. He put the Flyers up 3-2. I want to know what you guys think about Bobby Brink. There's so many, I think, exciting maybe storylines or exciting things to talk about with the Flyers that I'll speak for myself. I forget to talk about guys like Bobby Brink. I forget to watch for guys like Bobby Brink. I joked with Jack on Monday that, Michkov's here, and I found myself watching the first game of the year. I'm watching more for Luchenko. And, it kind of made me laugh because we've been waiting for Michkov for so long. And now that, these two guys are up here, Forster looked like he was off to a hot start. I don't think he had the same game that he had in the first game tonight. I didn't notice him as much. But we're looking for different things that guys like Bobby Brink I'm forgetting about. And this is his second year, and he's got the potential to, I would say put up some points. I would say peak for Bobby Brink, maybe 50 points. But yeah, maybe he has a high floor as well. Maybe a high floor of 40 points. We'll see. So, okay, the Flyers go into the third period up 3-2. They start the third period on the power play. Edmonton ended the second period much like they played in the first period. So, we're thinking, okay, the Flyers are heading into the third period with a 3-2 lead. They've kept McDavid and Draisaitl in check for most of the game. Unfortunately, let's get to the goal in a second. So, Couturier ends up fighting Troy Stecher. And so Teddy with one of those what are these comments called? Let me know in the chat. But these are cool. Thanks, Teddy. I appreciate that. Never knew Farabee and Coots for fighters. Is this new? And so Farabee's dropped the gloves a few times with some bigger guys in the past. Coots, I think this is it's a super chat. Yeah, thanks, Teddy. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So yeah, Coots. So he bumps into the goalie behind Edmonton's goal, but it looked to me like Skinner initiated more of that contact, and Couturier ends up fighting Troy Stecher, who skates up and wants to drop the gloves. I'm wondering, and maybe you guys can help clarify this for me. Somebody on Twitter mentioned it already. Why isn't there an instigator for Stecher? Couturier didn't do anything wrong, right? Stecher skates up and, wants to fight, drops the gloves. Is it because Couturier drops the gloves with him? Because I'm thinking back to Saturday night when Forster misses an entire, period's worth of hockey for almost the same thing. Is it because he drops his gloves and, grabs the guy before the other guy drops the gloves? Like, is that the clarification there? Because the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, well, Stetcher's going to get a 2-minute penalty, and the Flyers are going to have another power play. That wasn't the case. And then off the ensuing face-off, you see Farabee and Perry, chatting it up, and they go. And look, do I like to see that from Joel Farabee? Yeah, sure, I guess. But I'll be honest with you. I didn't really like it in that situation at that point in time in the game. Now, it didn't have an effect on the outcome in regulation, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But what's fighting Corey Perry going to do for anything with 10 minutes left in a hockey game besides take you out for 5 minutes of it? I mean, like Farabee has more of a potential impact on an outcome of this game than Corey Perry does. So While I like to see that from Farabee, I didn't like it so much in that situation. But like I said, didn't have an outcome, didn't factor in the outcome of the game. Won't harp on it as much. Now, later on in the third period, just when I was thinking, wow, the Flyers have kept McDavid, pretty quiet tonight. Like I haven't really noticed him at all. Just as I'm thinking that, he makes a sweet pass to Draisaitl, who then proceeds to beat 4 Flyers with 1 pass. He finds Evan Bouchard backdoor, who ties the game late, 3-3, and the game goes to overtime. And so we get to overtime, and the first thing that I'm thinking is win this face-off, get possession of the puck, and just drag it around, man. Don't let McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard, don't let them touch the puck. Because if they touch the puck, this game could be over like that, right? And so Edmonton wins the faceoff. The Flyers get possession of the puck somehow, right? I don't really remember how, but Sanheim ends up going in on goal, and to me, it looked like he was tripped or he was impeded in some way, where he ended up, falling into the corner and took forever to get up, or something happened. Because when Edmonton scored the goal, they had the initial chance, which was saved by Sam Ersson, and it seemed like forever at this point, and there was a 3-on-1 still. So I don't know what the hell was going on, but to me, it looked like a trip on Sanheim. And so here's my thing, especially when you're playing a team like Edmonton, get possession of the puck in the overtime and don't give it up. Right? Like the more shots you need to shoot the puck to win. The more shots you take, the more you're giving up possession of the puck, which is what overtime is all about. Keep possession of the puck, grind those 3 guys down, don't let them off the ice, and pick your chances. When you have possession of the puck, you control the game in overtime. Don't give it up. And so what the Flyers do way too often in overtime is they still try to play their transition game almost. Like they look for the odd man rushes, which is fine, but they do it way too early. So if they don't capitalize on that scoring chance, I mean, there's like 50-50 chance you're giving up possession of the puck. And so if you don't get it back, you're giving the puck back to guys like McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. And, they got a better chance of putting the puck in the net than the Flyers do. Like, let's just be real. So that's something that really irked the piss out of me last year with the Flyers in overtime. And I'm hoping that, we can not see that this year. But so far through 2 games, it's more the same. And look, I'll compare it to this, where my opinions come from with this. Like I grew up playing and watching a lot of soccer, and soccer is a possession game. If you're taking stupid shots, you're giving up possession. Now the other team's got possession. Look, if you have the puck, if you have possession of the puck, you're not getting scored on. So that means you're not losing, right? So grind the other guys down for 5 minutes. Don't let them get off the ice, and then score whenever you want. Because once they can't get the pucks, and you're changing lines 3 and 4 times while the same guys are out there, look, they're fucked, right? So I don't know what the rush is to give up possession of the puck with these chances that they're taking. It's early in the year, so I'm not going to get too frustrated with it, but their philosophy or strategy in overtime needs to change. So that's my 2 cents there. But overall tonight, look, they played the Western Conference champions in the third game, who opened up 0-3 this year. They're due for a win. It was the last game of their 4-game homestand. You could say it was a must-win game. I mean, imagine starting out 0-4 at home. 1-3 looks a hell of a lot better than 0-4. So it was a pretty. Edmonton had to have this game. The Flyers were winning for the majority of it. If you got to give the Flyers some credit. I didn't see anybody that stuck out too negatively in a bad way. I thought it was a good game overall for guys like Luchenko again, who I thought didn't stand out in any negative ways. He looked like he belonged to me, even had a couple scoring chances in the third period. So overall tonight, happy with the effort. Flyers start out 1-1-1 on their 4-game Western Conference trip. They have a game. They'll wrap it up Thursday with a game against the Seattle Kraken, and then they'll be home Saturday night for their first home game against the Vancouver Canucks. So, yeah, it's 1:30 over here, guys. I know everyone's beat, everyone's tired. We got to get up for work tomorrow. So I want to thank everyone in the chat that hung out: Teddy, Asphalt, CJ, and yeah, guys. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for taking the time to hang out for HW Hockey Postgame. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. It does help with the algorithm, gets us in front of more eyes and ears. But for HW Hockey, I'm Jim Iacovone. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys Thursday night. Good night.